And I've sat on a jail bench. I slept on one of them bunks. And let me tell you, I would want a lot of money. A lot of money. But it was just my curiosity because, I'm just like that. I was just curious. Let's see. So, anyway, great news. The girls recovered. Now it's about prosecuting this dude to make sure he don't hurt, kidnap, be a weirdo anymore. Now, look, if his plan was to get out of that damn trailer, he did it. He's moving to a nice big facility. Okay, I don't know about how nice it's going to be, but it's definitely going to be big. He don't have to listen to his mama scream at him anymore. Okay, get a job, do something with your life. Those type of things that Baby Gap usually hears. Okay, stop beating on kids. That type of stuff. So he was probably tired of that. He ain't gonna have to hear that no more unless he calls collect. Okay, you have a collect call from Craig Ross Jr. Hey, mom. You know what I'm saying? He's done. And he's 47 years old. Okay. So, he'll do the next 20 years in prison. So, what does that put him about 67, 70 getting out? But still, I don't think he should get out at all. There's just some crimes in this world that you should have to pay with your life, and he's committed one of them. Imagine as a parent, you right there with your kid and you think, hey, she's just right here with us. 1 second she leaves your sight and bam, some weirdo dude is done snatched her. He probably wears tight ass shirts too. It's something about them tight ass shirts. People be losing their minds, right? So we got the bearded man in custody. He looked a little bit like, he seems like he would have stood out. He seems a little creepy looking, a little weird looking. I mean, not like damn, I don't know. He does look a little weird, strange. So it seems like people would have noticed him. And I still would like to hear the circumstances of how this happened. Like, did he pull up in a vehicle, throw her in a vehicle and take off? Because they've not been really clear about how he got out the park with her. Okay, we do know you got to go in the park. There's cameras in the front. They film you going in and they film you going out. And apparently you have to sign into the park. So his name should have been on, like, I guess the manifest or the list of people that would be in the park that day. His name should have been on it. But I've heard rumors, and this is only rumors, that you just tell them who you are. They don't ID everybody or nothing like that. So it's one of those, I guess, trust systems. That's what I'm hearing. I'm not positive of that. Now, I have been to a state park, camping, and I could have pretty sure nobody ID'd. I think when I got a campsite, they did. Like, if you go out there and get a campsite, of course, they're going to want to see your ID, stuff like that. And I think it's like state parks are like $27 or something like that. So they'll usually ask for ID. But if you just go out there, like I've been to Warriors Path, let's say Tennessee, tons of times, right? There's never been nobody ID'd me, know I was out there or anything like that. So, these state parks are pretty big and they only have like so many park rangers, or like the place I was at had like they had like just like somebody that lived there that took care of the campground. Okay. Like a camp mother. It was a lady and she lived at the campground inside the state park, and you went up to her camper and you paid her rent. That's how it worked. And she gave you a little piece of paper you hung on the pole and you got your site. So it ain't like it's like super high security at most of these state parks. I don't know. I've never been to that one. I've only seen, pictures and images and stuff of that nature and heard from people that have been there. Been camping for years, never ID'd. I mean, I guess if you rent a camper site, say you have a camper and you need power and electric and you pulling up into a state park, they're going to ID, because I do remember that I had to rent the site and they ID'd me. Now I don't know if that was that ain't the same state park, but maybe so. I believe it's the same way here at our state park here in Virginia, Eastern Shore or whatever it's called. If you go in there, they don't ID you, but if you rent a campsite, they do. But yeah, but he's a creeper. He should have been called out from the get. Well, I mean, he looks no weirder than me. You know what I'm saying? He has a little bit more raggedy beard, but my shit was kind of crazy in Georgia too. Maybe when you get that crazy beard, that's when you end up in jail. Okay. I better shave today. I better shave. Keep it short. Keep it short. Plus when my beard gets longer, I look a lot older. Okay. I ain't that damn old. It makes me look like an old man. Like I should be doing moonshine in the mountains or something somewhere. I wonder how he knew the family. That's a good question. He had apparently at some point he had a house 2 miles down the street. So at some point he didn't always live in a camper behind his mama's double wide. Okay. So maybe at some point he had a decent job, had a house, things of that nature, and shit went south. He ended up in a camper behind his mom. These are just theories, Dolly's theories. Okay. He ended up in a camper behind his mama's house, and he was like, hell nah, I don't want to do this. My mom don't feed me. She don't wash my clothes. You know what I'm saying? She's mean to me, and I want out. All right. He wanted out. He wanted out the camper. And he's like, yo, my get rich plan is I'm going to kidnap this little rich girl down the street, and I'm going to hold her for ransom. That shit has never worked. In the history of time in America, I don't know if that's ever worked. Okay, let's see. Mailman lost his channel, and people are saying he was the mailman. Okay, wait, mailman. Lots of channels, and people are saying he was the mailman. Okay, well, maybe that's how he knows who the little girl is. Maybe he lost his damn job as the mailman and he went crazy. We know they're postal, right? That's where the word came from. When people act crazy, they're like, yo, you're going postal. That's because all them damn mailmen. He don't look like a mailman, though. I mean, that's the creepy mailman. Stay away from the creepy mailman. Okay? Be like, man, we'll wait till he gets away from the box to go out there and get the mail. Like, let him walk away. Right? I don't know. We look at this. The mailman, creepo, Amazon delivery drivers, they be kidnapping and shit too. Remember the Amazon driver, the little girl? You can't trust the mailman. You can't trust the Amazon driver. Next is going to be the pizza dude. Be like, no, not the pizza dude. Okay? Little Asian guy that brings the Chinese food. He going to be locked up for doing something crazy. Be like, man, it's all these damn delivery people. You can't trust them. Can't trust people coming to your house. Right? I'm going to get me some Rottweilers. Keep them by the door. Feed them gunpowder. Okay? Like Biggie Smalls. This world we living in is getting crazy. Somebody says, oh gosh, not a mail carrier. I'm a mail carrier and DoorDasher. Okay, well, don't kill me. Okay, I don't kidnap my dog or my kids. Nothing. All right. I mean, anytime there's strangers around, there's stranger danger. Okay. Stranger danger is a real thing. And I want to jump into a little bit of the Summer Wells stuff while we're speaking about stranger danger. Okay. Now, because there's a lot of theories into Summer Wells stuff. You know, is it somebody snatched little Summer Wells? Was it somebody that maybe CANDUS had let up there? Because we know these people are using, okay? And a lot of times when people are using and abusing drugs and things of that nature, they hang out with a lot of other people that do. And in the very beginning of all this, of Summer Wells going missing, I kept hearing stories about, you know, a lot of people coming up to the hill. Look at the article I sent you in DMs. He was a mailman. Okay, I believe you. He was a mailman. That's that sounds about right. Creepy ass mailman. He went postal, get rich plan, kidnap a kid, all that good stuff. Now, okay, so like I said in the very beginning, we were hearing about people going up to the hill, like Jose, Andrew Hiltz, and other people, right? I'm just jumping pages. I know her little girl's face is on the screen, but I ain't got no way to take it off right now because it's raining and all that. Right. Anyway, we heard about all these people going up on the hill. Now, I just want to share a little bit of what one of the locals told me. Now, this could be totally bullshit. It could be totally, I don't know. I'm just going to tell you what somebody told me. So I met somebody that lives right in that holler. Okay. And in the very beginning, we heard about Jose and different people possibly being on the hill, and there's other possible suspects that could have, the Jody Sue Brown, Andy, Fred Hill, just your possible suspects. But and then another thing was, people with the theory, did they sell this little kid into maybe some type of trafficking organization or something to do with that? We heard the cornbread mafia. So I was out there, and the way I met this gentleman is I was pulled over on the side of the road in the holler, and he pulls up. Random. Okay, just pulls up. Middle of nowhere. Right? I'm standing there like a horror movie, leaned up against the car, looking through my cell phone, and a car pulls up in the middle of nowhere. Okay, in the hollers of Tennessee. Older gentleman gets out. He didn't look threatening, but you never know. Could have a gun, could have a weapon. He's like, he was checking to see if I was broke down or needed some help. Okay, because you're in the middle of nowhere. Why am I standing? You know what I'm saying? I was just using the phone. I just pulled over to use the phone so I didn't crash. And he just started talking. He asked me why I was in town and stuff like that. I guess he could see the tags. And I started telling him, I was down there looking for the summer wells and blah, 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 blah. Right. And he said, I asked him, I said, do you know Don and Candace Wells? And he said he didn't personally know them. He didn't personally know them. But he knew exactly who they were, what house was theirs, you know what I'm saying? And everything. He knew of them, but didn't personally know them. He wasn't friends with them. Matter of fact, he raises 3 kids out there by himself, his grandkids. Right. So, it worried him when this all first happened, because one, he's, he's an older gentleman that takes care of kids. But he has boys and everything's okay with his family, but still a scary situation when you think, hey, there may be a kidnapper in the holler. So he told me that, we started talking about people coming up there. Was there any traffic that you've seen out here? Have you seen anybody? I just hit, maybe he's seen something he don't remember, but maybe it could be something important. Right. So, I just started saying, do you remember anything from that day? Have you ever seen people come and go? And he said, this is where it gets into the people, that there'd be times, there'd be groups of Mexican individuals up there. He didn't say one Mexican. He said groups of Mexicans. Okay. Now this could be, he old white guy in the holler. He might have a thing against Mexicans. I don't know. Okay. But he just, when he act like there was a few of them that were going up to the house. Okay. So was Jose the only person going up there? And here, this goes into this a little bit too, is before that, I don't know if y'all remember the rumors that Ali and them were talking. They were talking about Candace had met a dude at a gas station and had took him up to the holler. Now, I've looked for this dude at this gas station, okay? No lie. And it's kind of gotten brushed under the rug. Nobody ever figured out who that dude was. If we go back, she met a dude at a gas station. Y'all remember that, right? She was trying to tell, Allie was saying that she was lying to Don, saying it was somebody's friend. It wasn't his friend, but anyway, it was some dude she met at a gas station. And basically, when you do drugging and drinking, it's probably just a drinking buddy or a druggie. But CANDUS, super unfaithful, it sounds like. You know what I'm saying? Like she was always trying to get up with somebody. And I don't know if, Don and her having problems or what. But it goes to the fact that I believe there's been more people on this hill than we know of. I mean, we know our basics, Jose, Andrew, Jody Sue Brown, Fred, that type of stuff. But I think there's more people. I believe CANDUS was, when Don wasn't around, I believe she was bringing all kinds of dudes up to the hill. That's what I think. And for everybody that thinks, I have to say this. I believe both of them have predator behavior. Not saying that they're predators. I mean, you can come to your own conclusion on that one. But I do believe they have predatory behavior. CANDUS, for sure, is in the younger guys. There's just no doubt in my mind that the whole Hunter and CANDUS friendship was more than that. I believe 100% believe Jose. Okay. I believe that, that she was possibly messing with Jose, probably even Grandis and Allie. Okay. I know it's a little, right? You wouldn't want to see that on Pornhub. Let me tell you, imagine that nightmare. You flipping through Pornhub late at night, and next thing you know, you're like, holy shit. Okay. You'd have a heart. That'd be it. They find you dead with Pornhub open. And you don't want to die like that. I don't. Okay. That'll be the one to take me out the game. I'd be like, what? Okay. Anyway. So I've heard, different rumors about other young guys. Okay. Now, a rumor is just that. It's just a rumor. Okay. You can't say it's fact, but when you hear a lot of similar rumors, maybe there's a little truth to it. Not that it is truth, but maybe there is a little truth to it that her behavior was a little unacceptable for that day. And just coincidentally, her kid goes missing on the day that she's out doing some, in the words of some people up here on the YouTube streets, some bullshit. Okay. She's out with a young boy. She's supplying alcohol and what I believe was Delta 9 Skittles. Okay. Now, I've had a lot of debates on this whole Skittle thing, and I don't really like debating people because I've been there. I've been into the shop. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people think there's these Skittle tobacco for vapes, and there possibly is. Not there. Okay. It's Delta 9. You go in there and you ask for some Skittles vapes, they're going to hand you some Delta 8, Delta 9 shit. Okay. Which is just a legal form of bud. Okay. Some of them things will tear you up from the floor up. But I did find out that sometimes they find bad things mixed in those when you buy them from like certain places, dangerous to buy those vape pen type things. But yeah, she was supplying him with smoke and drink, and they went to a place to kind of be alone with a teenage boy. Okay. Now we know Grandis was hurt, right? Grandis hurt. She couldn't have been walking around with them. Now, for anybody that's been down at Warrior's Path, I know some of these YouTubers, y'all ain't been there because all y'all do is talk shit on the internet and never go nowhere. There's plenty of places out of sight. So I think they went to be alone, and Summer was swimming in that lake. Okay. And somewhere in that, Hunter may have noticed that Summer went under. Now, I never thought that Summer drowned at the lake. Okay. I never thought that. I've been in the lake. Okay. I went in there searching for that cell phone. Now, if y'all don't know the story of the cell phone, I'm not going to backtrack through the cell phone. Okay. It'd take too long to explain it. Okay. But there is a cell phone. There's a third cell phone. That is a fact. Okay. Even crazy as BK is, that is factual. That is 100% factual. There, I know this because I know some things. Okay. There's a third cell phone. Where that cell phone is, I have no clue, but you can believe I've searched Warrior's Path, the water, under the damn rocks. You name, I searched for it. Didn't find it. Okay. But I do know that it's realer than the Loch Ness Monster. Okay. I do know that. You might easily find the Loch Ness Monster, but that damn cell phone is out there somewhere. And I heard it was thrown into that point, went to the point of that lake and they threw it. Now, I can only go so far out and check. You would need like AWP with some actual underwater fucking gear. But I just hear that phone's real. And if y'all don't know the things of the phone, it would take me too long to explain it. But a lot of people think I was at Warrior's Path searching for summer whales when I was in the water. Like, that's crazy. No, I was in the water looking for a cell phone. Okay. That's what I was looking around for, kicking the ground, moving over rocks. I was just, because somebody told me that phone was possibly thrown there. And we do know the talk of the phones. Remember, Candace said that they took her phones. They went and got another phone. Okay. But there was a third phone. That's what I'm trying to explain to y'all people. There is a third phone out there. Why is there a third phone? Why ain't this phone ever been turned over? Okay. They took every other device. Why is this phone so secretive and purposely broke? That is one of the questions I still to myself wonder about. What the hell was on that phone? And who did they contact on that phone? Because I think TBI, they should figure out whatever devices they've been using. They need to pull everybody's info. Who they've contacted, who they discuss shit with. If they're not responsible for the wrongdoing of their kid, somebody that they brought up to that house is. That's why I touched on this with what the guy told me, that he's seen groups of Mexican dudes up there. And we ain't talking tree cutters. We're not talking, I don't know if Jose, when he was in town, he met some buddies and they all was on the hill. But at some point, there was a group of Mexican individuals at that house. Not just Jose. Okay. Who are the other Mexican guys? We only know about Jose, right? Who was the guy at the gas station that Candace was lying about and hung out with and brought to the hill? We never found out who that guy is. Okay. We just know he hangs out at the gas station, likes to party and drink. Hunter went and came back. And we look at everything. Damn, you have to be drunk to be with Candace. What about BK? Okay. What do you think BK drinks? He does some drugs though, but I don't think he drinks. I mean, yeah. Here's the thing: is these young dudes. I mean, I understand you live in the holler, okay, and pickings are slim out there. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest. There ain't a whole lot of Miss Tennessees running around the holler. That's what I'm gonna say, right? There ain't a whole lot of Miss Tennessees running around that holler. I know pickings are slim, but look, young guys out there in Tennessee in the hollers, get you a pickup truck, save up, and get the fuck out the holler. Okay? That's what I suggest to you young dudes out there. Get a sheep. I don't know. I'm kidding. But yeah, for the young dudes, I ain't kidding. Get out the holler, man. You know, you're in a limited space. You know, there's only limited to pick from. You need to widen your options a little bit. You know, if you're a young dude, 16 years old, and you find in Candace Bly, like, yeah, I'm gonna get this. You need to relocate. Okay, you need to get out the country. You need to put down the blunts. You know, the Twisted Tea got his head twisted, right? That Twisted Tea twisted your fucking head, homie. Okay, That's what I would tell Hunter. Be like, "Oh, dude, what the hell are you smoking that day? What did they put in that Delta 9 down there at the hippie shack that had you thinking that was a dime piece?" Okay. You know, beauty's on the inside, right? I get it's one of those things. Beauty is on the inside, and maybe Candace is a nice person on the inside. Some people would say she's the devil. Okay. Um, I had mixed experiences with Candace. One minute she was looking at me like she wanted me to come up missing. Okay, which is scary because you just don't know. You know what I'm saying? She definitely was looking at me like I want Dolly missing. I know the vibe, right? She was looking at me like, where am I going to hide this dude's body? But then slowly changed, and opened up a little bit. So, like I said, Candace ain't dead inside, right? She's not dead inside like Leilani, okay? Quentin Simon's mama. I met that lady. I felt like she was dead inside. She didn't care what happened. She didn't give two fucks. Leilani didn't. She was cold. She was dark. She was heartless. That is the scariest young woman I've ever been around in my life. Okay? Emotionless. Just wow. Candace, a little bit different. Okay? In the fact that you could see her emotions. She cried. She laughed. She got mad. She showed you every emotion, which is I don't see on YouTube, right? I just see them drunk on YouTube. But I had the pleasure of meeting them sober. I know that sounds crazy, right? And I swear they're different people. They're so different sober. You just got to catch them early in the morning, okay? Before they start drinking and before they start pissing on camera and swearing. And believe it or not, they seem pretty pleasant, compared to what you see on the internet. But they were sober. Soon as Don Wells, like me and Don Wells have had some good conversations. Normal conversation, not talking to a drunk ass dude. And me and Don Wells have had some drunk ass conversations. Didn't want people to cause anybody like CPS, etc., coming up to their unfit to live home. And we'll get into the people that was down there too. I read some stuff today that I wanted to discuss. And maybe sometimes I'll get into it in a minute. So, I've had these conversations with Don Wells with him drunk, and you see alcohol does not help him whatsoever. And I want to say one thing too, is when I was with Don, I didn't know he was such a perv. Okay. I can honestly say that I have, people have said he's, may have did these things this summer and blah, blah, blah. But, I give people, the benefit of the doubt. I had no clue that like the red panty stuff, I think our conversations would have been a little bit different if I would have knew he had this predator behavior in his past. Okay. Well, I didn't know about the sister when I was there. Okay. But I'm, still, you got to be like, okay, are they making shit up or, is this true? Because the sisters even said we only did this because of summer. And I was thinking, why would you only do that because of summer? You should do it because he's a monster anyway, right? Not because of summer. Even if a summer happening came up, if this person did this to you when you were young, you should expose him for that. Okay, that's what I believe. You know what I'm saying? He should be in jail for it. He shouldn't have waited so long to where they couldn't prosecute him. And I ain't trying to victim shame people. You know what I'm saying? If you're a victim, speak up. I know it's hard on people and there's a lot of shame and scars that carry with it. But if you don't speak up, okay, if you don't, you may allow somebody else to get hurt or be abused by that same person. And if you get the courage to speak up, that person may not be able to hurt anybody else. So I know it's one of them tough ones, especially for women, right? And men, right? No, dudes get sexually assaulted. There's a lot of shame that goes with it. And dudes won't say nothing for fucking ever, right? But even for men, like if you don't tell what has happened, this crazy type of stuff could happen to the next kid. And that's what you're trying to avoid. That's why victims, they got to have the courage to stand up, right? It takes a lot of courage sometimes. We run into the possibility that somebody snatched Summer Wells. I've always felt like something tragic's happened and Don and Candace Wells has covered it up. But I've never stopped searching other avenues of it. Could somebody else have possibly done it? And the answer is yes. I believe it's highly, highly, highly unlikely. Okay. But there's that possibility. There's always that possibility that Don and Candace Wells are actually victims. Right. And if that becomes the case in the future and we find that out, I tell you, I'm a man. I apologize for the things I said, but I only speak what I think. And I told Don Wells when I sat there with him, I have no shame in what I say. I said to Don Wells, when I stood on that hill to his face, I thought they covered it up. I told Don Wells that. Man, I looked right at him. I said, look, y'all covered this shit up. And he was like, you're wrong. And then he started going into, discussing how I was wrong and things of that nature. But I didn't go up there and be like, sugarcoat anything. I didn't go up there and say anything different than I would say on my channel. The only thing that I came back and I said some things people didn't like, because everybody paints these people as monsters, but they may be, right? They may be monsters. I just came back and told what I seen and what I experienced that day. Okay. You seen that they were decent human beings that day. Don Wells helped me go hang the banner, things of that nature. Then shortly after that, it's back to drinking, raising hell on the internet, this world tour they do. And some of it, I believe, is grifting. Whoa, feel sorry for me. I've seen it. Don has spent all the money, and there's so many channels that support them financially because they believe that they're going to bring the holy grail of views to your channel, and they're not. Look, I've had Don, Candace, it don't bring a bunch of stuff to the channel, but some people believe that it will, or that's their whole life of their channel is this Summer Wells shit. Okay. And they support them. Okay. There's people that support them. I'm more I don't want to crucify them. Okay. Because I've always believed it was an accident. Now, there's things that come to light, the whole predator behavior from between the two of them that make me question that. Okay. I've always believed it was an accident. I believe they love Summer. I mean, they're dysfunctional as fuck and they probably didn't take good care of her, but that don't mean you don't love somebody. You just dysfunctional as shit, drunk all the time, ain't capable of being a good parent. That's why I always believe she died accidentally. But then when you hear all this predator behavior of Don Wells and breaking houses and stealing paintings and possibly allegedly doing these things to his sisters and I hate to be graphic here, but y'all remember what they said about the family pet. Okay. And then you got so many people that say, what we heard Don was doing, showering with Summer and things of that nature. Why not let the mother take a bath with the daughter? You take a bath with the boys. That's why they have men's restrooms and that's why they have women's restrooms. It's just, I know it's your kid. And as a father, if you just say you didn't have, I was a single father. Okay. And thank God I had my mother helping me and my family helping me, my kid. But if you don't take a bath with your kid, you don't do that. Okay. You just don't do that. You give your kid a bath. All right. You put them in the bathtub. You rinse them off, wash their hair, put a towel around them, get them dressed, send them to bed. You don't get in there with your private parts in their face. Okay. We know how tall Summer Wells was. We know how tall. I know this is, just think about it though. and they in the shower together. Where's this man's? I mean, it's nasty to even think that shit. Okay. That should never happen. It's like, and he brushes it off like it's normal behavior, and it's not. Okay. Not only you ain't a single father. Okay. You got a mother there that could wash that daughter, that could get in the shower with that daughter, same body parts. Okay. Naturally normal. Okay. Nobody would say anything if CANDUS was taking a shower with her daughter. Okay. Nobody would say nothing. Don Wells, man. And he openly admits it, like, oh yeah, and like, I don't know, and I don't know why the Tennessee, the TBI, Hawkins County Police, they completely dropped the ball, and this thing is so old and the water's so muddy. I feel like this now. I don't think there's ever going to be answers for Summer Wells. I don't. I'm just, at this point, I'm just like, damn. And that hurts my heart, and it makes me want to go look for her. I swear it does. It's just like, man, it's like, I feel like the police down there have lost hope. And after 2 years with nothing, they should have jumped right on top of this family. They should have tore apart the inconsistencies in their statements. The whole mama went for a walk, the whole buying alcohol for a kid. Why was he never charged with contributing to delinquency of a minor? Why was he arrested? These types of things, and I just think the fucking police down there, man, y'all did a terrible job. I ain't saying nothing about the searching. I'm sure they did a wonderful job on the searching. They brought in a lot of people, helicopters, blah, blah, blah. I'm just talking about on the investigative end of this. Like, look, Pruitt, man, get these people or get somebody that is responsible for this. These people know what happened to their daughter. That's why they talk about their daughter instantly like she was gone. You didn't hear the family of Charlotte talking about their daughter in past tense and things of that nature. If my daughter was gone, I would never talk about my daughter. If she was gone for 20 years, I would have hope that my daughter would come home one day. I would never accept the fact unless I had some proof that she was gone, and I wouldn't put her name like that. I wouldn't be like, I'll see you in the resurrection. I'd be like, baby girl, we're going to find you. We're doing everything. I'll never stop searching. I don't get that vibe from them. They didn't want to be there. CANDUS, I think, wanted to be there. I don't think Don Wells really wanted to be in Tennessee. Don Wells called in a fake search, blaming CPS now. Look, I mean, the thing is this. They don't want to fix the problems, okay, to get their boys back, or even if Summer was found, which we know the chances of that, right? You wouldn't get her back. You're not. If you look, you can have a mansion, okay, a mansion. I could go out and buy Don and Candace Wells. I had billions of dollars. I could buy them the biggest mansion on the planet and put a damn Ferrari in the driveway. That ain't going to fix their problems, okay? That ain't going to even close to their problems. Ain't even close. Their problems is drugs and alcohol. That's their problem. They have demons that they don't want to fight, okay? They just rocking with the demons. They're just like, hey, yeah, fuck it. Life sucks. Do. And that ain't healthy, right? That amount that they drinking, Candace, she ain't going to live long. Okay, we're going to turn up here one day and her liver going to give out. Okay. If you drinking a bottle of liquor a day, you're going to die. You ain't going to live long. Okay. I know that. I've known people to drink the same amount. Okay. They get up and they drink a fifth of liquor every fucking day. I can tell you none of those people are alive now. All right. And people drink themselves to death every day. Okay. So I hate telemarketers, right? I don't need an extended car warranty. I don't know how they get my damn phone number. We're calling about your extended car warranty. I don't have a car. Okay. I do have a car, but I don't have none warranted through somebody in Wakefield, Virginia. Okay. Seems a little weird to me. Hey, Jim, between 333 likes. That's it. We got 606 people in this room. We only got 333 likes. Y'all gonna make Dolly homeless. Okay. When I get all homeless and I'm living in a camper behind a double wide and I snap, just remember, it's your fault, right? You don't want me up and living in a camper. So that means hit the like on the video. Let's keep Dolly with a nice roof over his head that don't leak. All right. So I like to keep it that way. And we can do that by simply liking the video. Or if you're super cool, I don't even mention this. Hit the join button. Become a member. Right? You're into true crime and craziness and shit. Hey, it's a good spot for you. For what is it? Like $2.99? Less than a cup of coffee. You can feed a starving Dolly. Okay? Dolly gotta eat. So anyway, where was I at? I was jumping around a little bit. I started jumping around a little bit because I've been talking for like a straight hour. So basically, miracles happen. I wish and pray there'd be a miracle in the Summer Wells case. And a miracle to me in this case would just be answers. Okay? That would be a miracle. If it's good or bad, still at this point, it would be a damn miracle to hear anything. You know, if little Summer Wells ain't with us, I want to know. I think the girl should have the proper burial. I think, you know, if they do find her and she is no longer with us, that YouTube itself, just the YouTubers alone, we pull together and make sure this girl has the most awesome funeral she can humanly have. Okay? Put her to rest the way she should be, because I believe she's not with us. I believe it's different circumstances than what we see with this weirdo here. Okay? He looks a little more crazier than Don Wells, to be honest with you. But I don't think he is, you know. Don Wells would have broke into your camper and stole your panties. You know, that's just as bad. And I don't know. I think a lot of people gloss over that. Like that's normal men behavior. All right. It falls under that like a fetish or something. I don't know. To me, I think that's something that a serial killer or somebody that has different types of perversions would be into. Okay. Normal people don't break into your home. All right. If even if you was into that, you could be like, if it's a girl, you can be like, hey, can I get those? You don't go break into their house and steal them. While they're sleeping, you're creeping around and things like that. That is like, if behavior like that ain't stopped, it escalates. Just like you listen to these serial killers, they first started stalking, killing animals, watching people, breaking into stuff. Then they started killing people. All right. You got to start somewhere. And if your crimes are like crimes of perversion, and we know every criminal escalates its crimes. So Don Wells is just escalating. I really do believe Jody Sue Brown. I probably owe her an apology. When she says she believes Don Wells was stalking her daughter. At this point, I think she's telling the truth. That he's had these prior behaviors of stalking, B&Es, assaults, okay, from the time he was young. Now he been into these things from a young point of time. And let's just, let's just say the sister, her story. He was doing this to her when she was young. He went to prison, and we got out of prison. The very first night he was out, he tried to do it again. Okay, so when he went to prison, he didn't change none, but he didn't go to prison for assaulting his sister, right? But when he got out of prison, because he's always been a petty con, and you think about this, CANDUS too. She worked as a carny. Most carnies, scam artists. So it makes sense that they together. They both ain't the most honest people. So if you ain't an honest person, you can overlook somebody else's dishonesty, right? But if you're an honest person, you can't be with a dishonest person because it'd be hard to overlook, right? Like if let's just say you're an honest person and then you got PJ out there, you know, and she's robbing people. I couldn't be with somebody like that. It's two different worlds, you know? Now, if I was out doing that type of behavior and she's out doing that type of behavior, then we got something that we can relate to, right? So I just believe that they're both cons. Whatever happened is they're look, they are the most dysfunctional, cheating on each other people, right? But I do believe they love each other. They are ride or die together. And when that ship goes down, they're going down together with it. I honestly believe that. It's dysfunctional as all get up out of here. But they're not going to turn on each other. There ain't an amount of liquor in this world. There ain't no truth serum. They are not going to turn on each other. But I guarantee you this. Don would go bang a crack whore and Candace would go hang out with a young dude like that. Okay? And then they're going to go home and fight and abuse each other, drink, and start the next day. Just like that. Like it's normal. Like that's just a way of life. Like that's just how they live. Right? It sounds crazy to people that don't live like that. Okay? But it don't sound crazy to people who've been around dysfunctional ass people. All right? Or been around a dysfunctional ass family. It's crazy. Right? And I honestly didn't think the little girl had a chance. You know, in all of this, Summer's a little bit of a hero because she saved her brothers. Okay? She saved her brothers. Her brothers right now, they probably got the best life they've ever had since they've been born. I don't even know what foster home has them, but I can only imagine it's better than what they had. If they around people that ain't drunk every day, they got a better life. Okay? The drinking and the drugs and having strangers. Look, we know it's dangerous for little girls like Summer, right? To have these stranger, danger ass people away. But let me tell you something like this. It's dangerous to have them around these little boys. There's a lot of creeps in this world that like little boys. Little boys are hurt just as much in this planet and assaulted just as much as little girls. Okay, so you're allowing all these creepy ass church people. You're allowing all these drug addicts. Okay, you're allowing all these people to go off with your kids. My kids ain't going nowhere. They ain't going playing putt-putt with your ass. They ain't doing none of that. Okay? You take your creepy church ass and stick a Bible up your ass first. I'll explain it to Jesus when I get there. But you ain't hanging out with my kids. Okay? You ain't doing that. Like the weird stuff I see them allow, it wouldn't happen under my watch. Okay? I'm just too protective. I'm more one of them hover ass parents. Hover over your ass. To make sure nothing happens because we live in a world where fucking people are weird. Just because you go to church don't mean you ain't a fucking weirdo. That churches are loaded with weirdos. Okay? I ain't saying everybody in the church is a weirdo. But look, you don't think weirdos go to church? Shit. They got cars. They know Sunday. They go get coffee and sit right next to you. Okay? And like you ain't bringing your creepy want to go off alone and pray with my kids shit around me. I mean, you love Jesus all you want. But hey, Jesus told me, put in my heart to watch out for you creepy motherfuckers, right? That's how I feel about it. You know, just because somebody says, oh, I love God, right? Don't mean they do. Okay. You can sit in a church for 20 years and be fucking Satan. It's just, be careful who you let your kids around, you know, even with some family members. You got to be careful. It's just the world's fucking sick and some people have twisted fucking minds and they go left somewhere when they shouldn't have. But don't take your eyes off your kids. Don't trust people around your kids. I don't care how good they are. I mean, the fucking police, there's weirdos, teachers. All right. I remember growing up, and this is no lie. I'll share this. There was a weirdo teacher at school. Every fucking body knew about it. Did anybody report this man? Look, I was a grown man. Okay. 20 some years old. I'm talking about when I was a kid, like 11 in school, like 5th grade, right? There was teachers like, stay away from him, stay away from him, stay away from him, right? And they knew he was a monster, and he was a teacher, okay? They were warning students, but this man stayed a teacher at the school for 20 years, right? And I even told people, I was like, yo, there was this dude in my school that he was a sick dude, and they never did nothing. So I'm a grown ass man. One night I turn on the news. I still remember his name. His name is Mr. Potter. Okay. And I turn on the news as a grown man. Okay. And this man has been arrested for like child pornography, messing with kids, things. It took 20 years. Everybody at that school was an enabler. I hate to say it, right? They knew enough that they warned kids. Certain teachers would warn you. But why was that man allowed to be a teacher for 20 years? Why did it take till I was grown for this man to ever be arrested for his crimes? That's horrible, right? It goes into the see something, say something. And I don't know. I just thought that was a strange one. If people are hurting kids, and that's the worst type of criminals, they deserve no mercy. They deserve no mercy whatsoever in this world. Now, I'm sure that man is dead by now. I hope, he was up there in age when I was a kid. And like I said, when I was about 20, he went to prison. So, I mean, I was glad. Okay, don't get me wrong. I was glad to see this man go to prison. And now he never tried to do it. I think he liked young girls. Okay, but it don't matter what you like. You shouldn't be messing with kids. So he never like tried anything. I didn't have him as a teacher, but he was like how when you're in school they have like certain classes they send you to, and certain teachers do certain things. He was like one of those teachers, like a science teacher or something like that. And I was always in trouble, so I never had to go to his class. You know what I'm saying? But I knew anyway that he was a creeper because a teacher had told me. Now, why would a teacher tell a kid and not go report it to the authorities? So to me, there's people out there that's weird, that's in teachers, and they're in these positions that you think you can trust people, and they're the ones doing horrible crimes. And even in the high school, there were some predatory teachers. So that's what I'm saying. In this world, you don't know. The mailman's crazy. The Amazon delivery man's crazy. Teachers that are educating your kids are fucking weirdos. It's just society has went to hell in a handbag. Okay. Yeah, nowadays the schools would have been sued for having teachers like that. Yeah. And like I said, I would have never knew that he was like, I mean, it was rumored, like I said, and I was a kid. And as a kid, I understood, but I didn't think I really understood the severity of what was happening. You see what I'm saying? I knew if you stay away from them, you good. But what about the people that couldn't stay away from them? I didn't understand that as a kid, that how horrific this was. I don't even think I ever went home and like told my parents, like, hey mom, there's this, I didn't understand it enough. I just knew to stay away from the guy in the school. I didn't really think it was that big of a deal, but I never forgot it. I just remembered that since I was a young kid. And it's like I said, I didn't experience it so much in high school. There was some creepy teachers though. And even in high school, there was a dude, one of the guy teachers was having like a little relationship with one of the girl students. That never got reported either. Okay. And everybody knew about it. So I don't know if I just lived in an area where it was like, I hate to say like good old boy mentality, where you hear about that in the police a lot, but just like teachers looking out for teachers, or this person looking out for this person when you in the same field as somebody, right? Like police, if you see another cop break the law, you should arrest them, right? You see a teacher doing something wrong, you should notify the school board, right? Even if you go to the head people and they ain't going to do nothing, right? As a teacher, you can contact the school board. The school board's not going to let some pedo dude be in a school for 20 years. And think about this. If he was doing these things when I was a kid, all right, 20 years later, think about how many victims there were. How many people and how many different kids went to that school every year, right? Because it's only a school for 2 grades. I think it's 5th and 6th grade. It's like a primary school. So you got different kids rotating through that school constantly, and you got a known predator working at it. And the teachers clearly know. So yeah, like we live in a different society. I hope, things like that these days, we still see it. These days it's women teachers. Okay. When I was a kid, hey, none of them hot teachers I had would have paid me the time of day, or any other kid in the class a time of day. I had never seen a woman teacher when I was a kid flirting with a student. It just didn't happen, And when I was in school, we had older, mean ass women teachers. Okay. They were older. They ain't like no young dudes. You know what I'm saying? They were already at that point of life sucks. I got to do this shitty job for low wages. Shut up and do your work. They were more like that. It wasn't no that, what are you doing after school shit? Teachers these days are like 25, hot, right? They looking at your kids like they can date them. They on TikTok and shit. Be like, look, lady, you're 40. Stop watching TikTok. Okay. I tell you another prime example, something I remember, like, this is crazy to me. Because a lot of people look at men as predators. You can only be a predator if you're a man. No, there's a lot of women out here that have some predatory behavior like a bitch. Okay. Because like I said, I was a single dad. So Tiff growing up, I took her to Disney concerts, to like damn AJ Alley, Cheetah Girls, you name it, damn Hannah Montana, the Jonas Brothers, to boy bands, to you name it. Me and Tiff went and did that together. Right. And I can tell you one time I was at Jonas Brothers. There was a group of women that were like every bit of 40 plus. Okay. With I Love Jonas shirts on, with their titties hanging out. Daisy Dukes on that don't even cover up their stuff. Fangirling a 14-year-old boy. Make that make sense. Okay? Lady, you're acting like a predator, right? Like there's other little kids here. I don't know if y'all should be here. Like this ain't Bon Jovi. Okay? You ain't at a fucking Motley Crue concert, lady. Okay? This is the damn Joe Bros. Okay? There's fucking little kids everywhere. And it wasn't just like a couple of them. I mean, this was like, it was scary. Okay? It was scary how grown ass women were looking at these kids on the stage. Okay? Now, I ain't saying they would do nothing, but their titties hanging out say otherwise. Okay? Like if that was my kid, my 14-year-old son, I'd be worried. Okay? I'd be worried. But it's normal. That's acceptable. But if a dude was to do that, oh, that would be creepy as fuck. Okay? You let me show up at a damn little kid concert for girls, half dressed, screaming how much I love this little girl. See how creepy the fuck that is. Okay? And as a parent, I'm sitting there with my little daughter, looking at these wretched ass hoes act like predators. And I've seen it a lot. So women, tighten up, okay? Don't fall in love with the fucking 10-year-old kids that are up on stage singing. That's weird, you know? And dress appropriate to things that you go to that involve children. All right? I don't usually see too many men inappropriately dressed. Women around kids, super inappropriately dressed. So it kind of goes both ways. I just wanted to touch on that a little tiny bit. And it all goes into, there's a lot of people out here that have some predatory behaviors. Okay. Don, Candace Wells, they both got it. This dude right here, he's first degree kidnapper. They're out there, and it's always people think this can't happen to you. It can. It can happen to anybody. Same thing. Look, like Brandy Neal lives in the middle of nowhere. Nice, great neighborhood, pretty, Fruitland, Idaho. I asked Brandy, I said, did you think this? She's in the middle of nowhere. I was like, did you think this would happen to you? And you know what she said? No. Nobody really thinks it'll happen to them, but it can. And once you think about it, it might be too late, So keep an eye on your kids. And for people like that into true crime, y'all might be more the hover parents, because we know in true crime how crazy the world we live in. We know the outcome to a lot of these stories. This story, miracle. We don't get that a lot. Okay. By statistics, this little girl should be gone. Okay. Miracles happen. Miracles happen. Why that dude was an idiot? It's a fucking miracle. I don't know, but just thank God, little baby Jesus, he was stupid enough to go to that home and leave evidence that led them right to him in this little girl. Because we don't know how long he would have kept this little girl alive. What kind of condition? Was he feeding her? These types of things. She's being checked out. And I'm sure in this news conference today, we'll get a little bit more of an update on the condition of the little girl. But they said, initially that it appeared she had no physical injury. So she didn't look like she had a broken arm, bruises, bleeding, none of that stuff. She was just in a cabinet. And I can't say she has no injuries, because it's going to do mental and psychological damage to the little girl. She's 9 years old. She's old enough to remember things that happened. I can remember when I was 9, and I know most of you guys can too. She's never going to forget that she was kidnapped. She will remember these nightmares, and it may haunt her shit for the rest of her life. You just don't know what type of scars these things can put on people. And the scars are different from each person, because different people cope with things different ways. Different people handle things different ways. So you really know how traumatic this is going to be to her. How life-changing. Is she going to be one of those people that's scared to go anywhere, scared to do anything by herself? I know people like that. Something's happened to them and they just shut off and they're scared completely of the world. I don't never want to be in a situation where, I know the world is dangerous and crazy, but I don't want to be scared of it. Right? I just take it like it is, but it is a scary place. So when I see people that have anxiety and things, I get it. We live in a crazy world where you got to worry about so much things, and that worrying causes, stress, high blood pressure, heart attacks, strokes, and you face all that just living in the world you live. So be careful out there. Don't trust anybody, and the people you do trust, still keep an eye on them. That's the smart way to go, because, you just never know who's capable of doing what horrible things. And it's people usually like, this guy kind of looks the part. Let's be honest. He looks like a creeper. Okay. He looked like Dolly in Georgia. He looks like a creeper. Okay. So sometimes people do look the part. Okay. But most of the time they don't. The majority of the people doing horrific things in this country, they don't look the part. They don't look creepy like him. You know, you ever notice when somebody does a news report, when they catch the person, they're like, man, I never thought he was like that. He's such a good guy, man. I would have never thought. And it's always the people you would think would never do something like that. They're always the ones that end up doing the horrific shit. The crazy dude with the tattoos on his face, he's usually the one that ain't did nothing. You know what I'm saying? You looking at him like, oh, come on, grab you, you know? And then it's the guy that looks like a preacher that is the monster. You can never tell what clothes or what skin a monster's going to wear, right? It's almost like the movie, like that mask I got, They Live. Right? I wish there was a pair of sunglasses you could put on that would tell you who are monsters and who ain't. In the movie They Live, they would put on glasses and they could see who were aliens. All right, that's how they could tell who was aliens and who were real people that may really exist. You know what I'm saying? Just saying aliens are real. But I wish there was a way that you could put these things on and you could see who is a monster and who ain't. That would be helpful when you're dealing with people in this world, you know, or something that just told you, hey, good person, bad person, you know, it went off. Ding, some glasses, bad person. Maybe Google will catch up with that technology, right? And we can get something like that. You know, as soon as you fucking walk by me, it pulls up your criminal record. So I know if you're a creepo or not, you know? I think that would be useful. You know, let's get on it. That's my next $1 million creation. You can see Aurora. That does help me. Well, you look, I'm a vibe person. I can't really see your energy, but I can feel your energy. Okay. Like I ain't one of those see nothing, right? But I've always been able to feel people's pain. It's weird. And I don't mean like physically. I mean like mentally. I can feel your pain. But I can't see your pain. Okay. But I can feel it. If I get to talking to you, I'm a vibe person and I'm really good about catching somebody's vibe of what type of person they are. I can tell you if you're a good person, a bad person, somewhere in the middle, a little good, a lot bad, a lot good, a little bad. I can tell these things. And definitely if you're hurting and in pain, I instantly know. And I always tell people this, and this is no lie. You think I'm bullshit. Don't cry around me because it'll make me cry. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I don't give a fuck what you're crying about. You could be crying about, ain't even got a reason to cry. You start crying around me, it upsets me. Right? Like I don't, that's just one of those things. I don't know. I can't explain that one. I'm a crier. I'm a man. Ain't nothing, no shame in my game. You start fucking crying, I'll cry. I won't even know what I'm crying about. Okay. But I just feel people's hurt. That's why even the interview I did with Brandy Neal was so short. I was about to start crying, talking to her. And so I cut it real short. If you notice the interview I did with Brandy, I went all the way to Idaho and I only did a 2-minute interview with her. Right? Because at the end, when I hugged her, I was tearing up. I was about to cry. And I ain't going to sit up here as a man and cry on camera. Right? But she was tearing up. It was making me cry. Just thinking about it, you know, would make me cry. So it's just these sad things in the world. And I feel people's pains and emotions like that. I don't know why. I've never been able to explain that one. Maybe it's just instinctual, you know. Sierra Jones, you're an empath, Dolly. Same here. That's why I am such a homebody when I can control who I'm around because I'm definitely emotionally draining. Yes, definitely. I can completely understand that people can drain your energy too. I get it. I don't see, like some people say, you know, you can see their aurora people and their energy and chakra. And I mean, I ain't all into it deep like that, you know. But I definitely know people carry a certain energy. Facts. Yeah, ain't even got to believe me, you know. I don't know how to explain it, you know. There's a lot to this world that Dolly can't explain why things happen the way they do. But look, everybody be safe out here. The moral of the story is this: parents out there, if you got a young kid, or even if you got an old kid, right? Like me, my kid's 23. I need to call and check on her, see what she's up to, how work is doing. That type of, just keep an eye on your kids. Even when they're grown, they still your kids, they still your babies. And sometimes people can, even at grown ages, they ain't always completely grown. They ain't making completely grown decisions. So keep an eye on your kids. Know that treat everybody like they're a monster and don't trust no one. I think that's the best way to do it, you know. And don't take many chances with your kids. Only leave them with people you trust, and barely do that only when you have to. Okay, that's what I say for parents out there. It only takes a second. It don't take 10 minutes, don't take 5 minutes, don't take 3 minutes. It takes literally seconds to snatch a kid. And I can tell you this, most of them don't end in miracles like this. Okay, most of them do not end in, they end in tragedy and horror. So thank God that we were blessed. This little girl's family was blessed, and a miracle happened for her. Guys, I will see y'all later today. I'm going to get out of here, go get me some breakfast, something to drink, all that good stuff. Y'all have been awesome. So, replay crew, I want to know how much money he wanted in the ransom note. Okay, take a guess. I might give something away in the next video for somebody who leaves a comment after this video is over. How long? No, not how long. How much do you think this big old goofball right here, okay, wanted in his ransom note? Maybe he wanted enough to shave that beard, okay? Shave that thing down. Court TV version of Dolly. All right. So maybe he wanted enough to shave that beard, but you guys let me know in the comment box down below. And if I pick your comment, I might give something away. I don't know. I'm feeling generous. I'm feeling generous today. And of course, I'll be back later this afternoon around 12:30 or so to hang out with you guys. Until then, y'all be safe. Y'all be good. Dolly loves you. Peace.